All right, everyone, welcome back to Central Coast Disc Golf. This is the final round from the 2023 Zootown Open, presented by Innova. We're up here in Missoula, Montana at the beautiful Blue Mountain Disc Golf Course. I'm your host, Nate Perkins, and I'm here today with 2012 World Champion Sarah Hokom. Sarah, you made the lead card for this final round. Pretty stoked to watch you and hear you walk us through some of the golf today.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Let's start with hole one. It's a par 4, 483 feet. Players are going to want to punch it out straight over these beautiful ponderosa pines, just to the left of that big one we just passed, and looking for it to push straight as far as possible before dumping left, as its righty backhand is the play here, and it's losing tons of elevation. So just punching out straight and letting the gravity do the work on the fade is going to give you a possible eagle look, one of 3 eagleable par 4s.
Kristen going Grace here. She really hit that hard and flat. She's gone deep once again.
Similar position to yesterday.
At 16 down for the event from Beacon, New York, Missy Gannon.
Missy going straight thrasher here.
A little bit inside, but it does get through. She'll have a perch from up the hill.
Next on the tee from Caldwell, Idaho, 4-time Zootown Open champ Sarah Hokom.
4-time champ. You seem to love it up here in the mountains.
I mean, who wouldn't? Just take a look right there.
Yeah. So what are you lining up here?
This is an Ascend. It's a flippy 6-speed from Streamline.
Oh, and flipping up beautifully. Crowd loves it. You can definitely tell you've been putting a lot of work on that shot. That was a beautiful shape right there.
Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Katrina Allen.
That's actually my backhand coach right there, Miss Katrina Allen.
All right.
My latest lesson was certainly from her.
It's a good person to get a lesson from.
Yeah.
2-time world champ.
She's got a hurricane in her hand. Yeah, that's got good distance. She'll have a C2 look.
I believe she eagled this hole during yesterday's round en route to shooting a 9 under par to find herself on this lead card.
Yeah, she had a super fire round yesterday. Had 2 throw-ins, including an eagle on 18.
Oh, from 45 feet, Katrina Allen is good to open her round up with an eagle.
So 2 in a row, I guess she ended with an eagle and started with one right back where she left off. And Kristen to match.
And from nearly the same spot, maybe a little further, she also goes back-to-back eagles on the first. And just stone cold. No emotions there.
Missy cleaning up with a birdie from tester distance. Her stroke is looking great today, as usual.
And you guys are going to play this hole 6 under.
Yikes. That's pretty awesome. So the pars might be a little soft on a couple of these holes, but it does make for great viewing. On to hole 2, the par 3, 346 feet. It's a righty hyzer. You're going to push this far tree line, following this pathway, and it'll fade out to the left into this gap, hoping to get a little skip forward once you hit this gap to get yourself inside the circle. Otherwise, you're only going to get inside the circle by getting lucky through the right side. A lot of times you'll have a circle 2 look to try to get this birdie. It's been got this weekend, but not very many times.
And Kristen going Grace again here. And just a little early, but 45 feet once again.
About what she just made on the first hole.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Cat with a little bit of a yank, but kicks back to the fairway.
Yeah, somewhat fortunate to get back there.
Missy pushing straight and kind of sneaks up there just outside the C1 mark. This is a vanish.
Oh, what speed is that?
It's a flippy 11 speed.
Okay. Oh, very nicely thrown. Also, just a few paces outside the circle.
Cat with a breaker in her hand. Gets it up there. She'll have a 15-footer for par save.
Oh, nearly from 52 feet. Was that
Yeah.
tree in your kind of
Yeah.
in your stance? It looked.
Yeah, definitely had to throw a little bit of Anheuser there. And Missy from 40.
Oh, and she's good for it. She's gonna get one back after losing one on the first, even with a birdie. She moves
Yeah,
to.
that will be, I think, the 4th birdie we've seen on this hole in 3 rounds.
Okay.
Both Cy and Hannah got that yesterday, and Juliana the first day.
Good save from Katrina. Decent gallery for this championship Sunday. A couple hundred people following the card.
Yeah, and on this like very mountainous terrain. So troopers out here in Montana. On to hole 3, a par 4. 378 feet, playing more like 500 feet. Players are going to throw a righty hyzer around this tree to land about here, or a straight sidearm up the left side, and then navigate this tight fairway. There's a lot of upper branches to miss, and there's this beautiful, it opens up to a beautiful green. There were some deer in the meadow behind this one today.
Nice.
Most importantly, to land that first shot, though, in a place where you have access to that tunnel.
Yeah, you can take the birdie away real quick if you don't land in the middle of this fairway.
And that's a really good spot.
Yeah, she corrects off yesterday's shot. That's her Tour Series thrasher there. And remind me what Kristen's throwing for that blue
That's a
overstable.
verdict.
Okay, yeah.
So she's going, that's pretty stable mid.
Flat top.
It's a little low release by Cat, but she's in the middle. This is a crave.
Nice neutral flight. That's in a prime position for another forehand up the alley. And who's on the back for you today?
That is Kevin, a local player who I met at the Droughtworks Brewery event. Offered to carry the bag, and I said sure.
Cool.
And he was great on the bag all weekend.
And that can really make a difference when you have a hike such as this one.
This is a relay, which is a 6.5 speed.
It's slightly overturned, but 20-footer there.
Yeah, these run-ups on this course can be a little tricky. Those tufts of grass make the ground very uneven. And also this whole place slightly uphill, and there's a ceiling. So hitting that height correctly is paramount. Kristen getting up there really close for an easy birdie. Missy showing off her sidearm here. I've been watching her throw this most of the weekend, and I haven't seen her miss a shot yet.
Yeah. She definitely has that kind of 150 feet and in, down. That was a good touch there with the zone. Nice little patent pending there from Katrina. Oh, and you're really obstructed here.
I have to go between a couple of branches. It's not comfortable, but you work it out. Sometimes those ones that are so obstructed just focus you up a little.
Yeah, and I feel like the magnitude of missing a putt so short when you maybe didn't take your time like makes you like settle into the putt a little longer.
It's a little high, but in the basket. Kristen now 3 down through 3. And Missy just run off the pace.
Taking a look at our leaderboard here. Kristen kind of separating herself, but lots of golf ahead.
And we're back on hole 4. It's a par 4 at 432 feet. Your first challenge is to get around this corner. You may want to hyzer into it by the pushing hyzer, trying to get as straight as you can, but it's going to eventually fall left into this gully. If you've got a sidearm, an S shot might get you an eagle look. As you approach the green, it is sloped the entire way. But there is this nice little ditch on the right side that's only 15 feet away, and a lot of things can filter into that, leaving you an easy birdie putt if you can get it there on your second.
And do you know why the locals call this one Mirkwood?
I don't. I mean, just
maybe we can get someone in the
kinda
comments.
Scary. Maybe.
Yeah.
Like spooky.
It's ominous.
This is a little turned. We had a little bit of a headwind, actually, along with, I think, my overcorrection.
Fun shot to attempt, though. I really feel like the forehand matches this fairway pretty well.
Yeah. Missy does not beat the one tree, but the landing where she's landing is right in the middle. It's about navigating that second shot.
Is this like a squall or what?
It's a rift.
Oh, rift, yeah.
Yep, she throws a rift quite a bit.
Kind of understable mid-range.
Yep. So he gets the kick right. Still maybe only 100 feet away, though, or less.
This shot's pretty tricky.
It's a pyro. I didn't turn it as much as I wanted to,
Oh.
but this same thing happened to me in the first round where I missed it a little right and it rolled down to that little ditch. So I guess
that's just super convenient.
literally twice
when you're keeping score.
3. So Kristen going the high route here, but gets caught up and it actually drops straight down pretty high up on the hillside outside circle 2. This is Kat's drive.
Pretty spin putt there. Good speed control. She'll have that for birdie. How many years have you been playing with Katrina Allen at this point, Sarah?
All the years she's been around, which would be it was probably since 2011 or 12.
Yeah, just over a decade.
Mm-hmm. So Kristen is pitching down. It's very steep. Even the camera shows it, I think, pretty well. And the putt from the ditch. I'm not sure I deserve the birdie on that one or the first round that the same thing happened, but you know, you can take what you can get there.
Hey, you might have made it from up the hill.
That's right, of course, right.
The mosquitoes were down just a bit today, but they were definitely still pretty bothersome.
Yeah, I'm assuming that just slight breeze that hasn't been there the first 2 days.
Outside of the mosquitoes, there's really nothing to complain about here. I mean, you guys were blessed with 3 days of just beautiful weather, and we are in the mountains. The weather is subject to change pretty quick, and no rain, and decent mix of sun and overcast, and really clear days. You could see the tops of the mountains all surrounding the valley.
And we're on top of one of those plateaus on hole 5. It's a par 3, 295 feet. There's a gut shot up this left side for a slow turning mid or putter. But there is this ravine on the left. If you hit anything and kick down there, it can be difficult to save the par. There is also an extreme kind of righty hyzer lane for a backhand, looking for a big fade that could get you a birdie look. I personally like the flip up the left side with a sidearm.
What speed are you going with here?
This is 6.5 speed. That's high. There's a bit of a headwind today as well.
Yeah, just a little nose up.
Yeah, not quite the execution. But Kat's going to show us this hyzer line.
Oh, and second time today that she's kind of slid into that front foot and then pulled on the drive a bit.
Yeah, sometimes this turf it takes a little getting used to, and sometimes the shoes are just not the right choice. She looks like she's on the side hill there. Maybe a look at birdie, but she may not even see the basket from where she's at. That comes out a little high.
Yeah,
Similar spot to Kristen.
nearly pin high, yeah. We're going to have Circle's Edge looks uphill. Tricky spot here for Kat. Lots of trees in the way.
He gets through all of them, but also is now behind the basket, outside of circle 2. This is kind of just a pitch up for me. It's outside circle 2, I'm about 75 feet. Missy does not look like she can see the basket.
No, I doubt she could.
About 25 long. Kristen, however, does have a look and lays it up.
Yeah, didn't seem to want to attack that one.
Kat conceding for a tap-in bogey.
Good putt there from Missy to stay 4 back. No birdies here on the 5th. Card's going to play at 1 over.
The next hole actually in the normal Zootown layout is actually down this ravine, kind of even with the ground. It's one we don't actually see. And this is actually normal hole 1, but our hole 6 is a par 3, 324 feet over a ravine right away. This is a pretty small gap, maybe 18 feet, 15 feet, and the entire fairway slopes to the left, so gravity's falling away from the backhand. And it slopes up quite a bit at this very last bit once you get past the 300-foot mark. This plays more like 350, 360, and it has not really been birdied. We've seen it birdied by maybe 2 people this tournament.
Yeah, and almost instant bogey if you go down in this ravine right there.
It is dirty.
Oh.
Yeah, I hit it the first day I went down there. It was my only bogey of that day was this hole. So even though I didn't throw a good drive here, I'm happy I didn't go into the ravine.
Yeah, you're through the gap.
Mission number 1 accomplished. Kristen putting a move.
Oh, just almost getting that to break over at the top of its flight. Kind of hyzers out a bit early.
I'm sure that's just gravity doing that for most of these shots. Missy also puts a great move on it. There's a look. We've seen some putts go in from down there.
Oh, late flip from Kat. Beautiful shot. Slides up to pin high, maybe 24 feet.
That is her signature sail.
That's like a flippy?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Little hot coming in. But who doesn't want a death putt? I mean, right? Super fun. There's a tree there too.
Yeah, it is going to be an awkward putt for you.
Kristen just pitching up.
Chance for Missy here, and yeah, just hard to get the power on this slope.
Kat sneaking in that left side. Great birdie. The only one we saw on the day. And I got a little cleanup here.
How'd you feel about that putt when you walked up to it?
Thinking about it before I walked up to it was not great.
Yep.
But once I walked up to it and settled in, it was fine. So that's like, don't overthink it. Don't even think about the putt till you look at it.
I like that. Nice little drone shot of the river there. Kristen still has 4 over Missy, 7 over you, Sarah, and you just have 1 over Katrina. You guys are playing pretty good on this front 9, moving to the shortest hole on the course.
Yeah, 227. This is a sidearm. It slopes from right to left, so the backhand's going to fall away. Trying to play to this ponderosa pine on the left side with probably something stable on a hyzer line. The hard part is to get it to sit next to the basket. You're also trying to make a putt on a very sloped and hard pan green. Rollaway potential is pretty high. This is a Trevor icebreaker.
And that breaker sits down nicely.
That was my shot right there. The camera guy kind of missed it. But it was early. Also, that was Kristen's shot. Also early. The identical head shaking.
It was an identical head shaking. Yeah.
Like, what did we just do?
You don't see Kristen display too much emotion, but she was kind of questioning her shot right there. She showed some emotion on that harp misfire.
I think it's just like a little disbelief, especially because both of her and I, that 227 with an overstable mid is like our bread and butter.
Mm-hmm.
So to miss an entire hole that's the whole point of the hole,
yeah,
is kind of mind blowing. I'm sure I was in the same boat. Like, I just keep missing this hole. So she's pitching up there. Nothing she could really do from that position. And, possibly losing a stroke here to Missy, who's still pushing and has plenty of holes left to catch her.
And Missy's going to get one back here on Kristen after the misfire.
And then there's Kat.
Tying it up with you.
Yeah.
Got a little battle here.
Full routine.
That's all right. I'm down with that. As soon as you miss a couple of those, you're like, okay, let me just go ahead and take my 15 seconds or
And I had
10
birdie
there.
licks on this hole both rounds from inside the circle and missed them both.
That's tough. So you parred the whole 7, all
At
3.
all 3 rounds.
That's tough.
On to hole 8, 241 feet. This one is blocked by the pines, these 5 pines in the middle, and there's also a slope from right to left that makes the backhand, again, turn over a little bit difficult and falling away. I think the play is to punch it with the backhand of that right side, something low and hard. And I'm going to try a sidearm. You can also do it. But the right side is the open area. And that's great.
Oh, right into the bullseye.
That's her pipeline. So it's, that's a fairway.
Yeah.
Even though it's only 241 feet, she could throw a putter that far.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense with the low ceiling and slightly uphill. Kind of have to punch a shot through that gap. Missy just nose up with that sole, doesn't get it to roll over at all.
This is a little bit awkward for a sidearm, but I'm going to try it anyway because I kept hitting the first early right trees of the backhand. And that's inside the circle.
When Kristen tugs on that verdict once again, she'll be outside the circle. Maybe a couple toss-in attempts right here. Missy's up first, going fierce. Maybe she didn't want it. With that ceiling right in front of her, maybe she...
I think she would have putted with her putters if she was going for the chains.
Okay. Kristen definitely sent that pure. Oh, yeah. Uphill, 30-footer.
That one makes me feel a little bit better after missing the sidearm hole every round. And Kat from just outside the bullseye. Quick second putt. Maybe the timing was just off a little bit there.
Yeah.
A little bit quick.
And the pace, too. Sometimes, Katrina's always gone to her normal routine and pace from those close ones. And I honestly feel like sometimes her putting is better from like 25, 35 than it is from like that 12 to 15 because she has that low to high trajectory.
Mm-hmm. I also wonder at that distance if she kind of gets bored with her routine and so kind of rushes it, but she knows she's got to do it, but then, still rushes through it. I guess only Katrina knows.
Yeah.
Hopefully she can find her putt back on the next hole, but this is hole 9. Par 5, 543 feet, but you can get there off the tee. It really only takes about 300 feet of power. Players are going to throw a backhand hyzer down that gap and hopefully go under this tree or punch the trees to the right of the basket and kind of drop into this open space. The green itself is on a little bit of a spine with rollaway potential on either side.
No, is this that same disc you threw on the first hole?
Yeah.
Cool.
kind of the same. I've been working the same stuff to keep it simple.
Ascend.
Yes.
A little bit of hyzer out of the hand.
Threw it a bit high and right.
I was close, though. It was just a little wide.
Almost made it through. Look at those mountains. This is a pipeline. I like that height,
Yep.
but it's turning.
Oh, and it's staying turned.
She'll have a long approach, but this is a par 4, so she still has birdie well in range. This is Missy's Tour Series Thrasher. That could get through.
It was headed for the pin. Gets slowed up by the pine, but she's inside circle 2. This might be St. Pro from Kristen. Just didn't get that one to flip up. She went deep with the Grace yesterday, so I think she slowed it down.
This is an Envy.
Now talk about the difficulty of this little touch shot right here.
Well, the hard part is you're losing a lot of elevation that's not very obvious, and then you've got to land it on this weird sloped green to try to get kind of what I call a mountain roll that's going to roll towards the basket and not away from the basket. So you have to kind of land it well short and let the gravity do the work.
I like that term, the mountain roll. It's true. Missy to get another one here for Eagle.
This would put her within 1.
Another nice putt from deep in circle 1. Feeling good about the pace there?
Yep. Yeah, it's a journey.
Yeah. It really is.
Missy to clean up to get a birdie. We're headed towards a star frame.
Yep, another solid hole for the card. And that is it for our front 9. And Missy Gannon stays 3 back of Kristen. You are picking one up on both of them, as well as Katrina. Both of you guys shooting 5 under. And you kept it clean out there, Sarah. We're going to take a look at the rest of the leaderboard here. Holly Finley shoots a scorching 7 under on the front.
Wow.
That's impressive. Having herself a day. Thank you guys for joining us here on Central Coast Disc Golf. Really stoked that the Disc Golf Pro Tour made their first visit to Montana. And from Sarah Hokom and Nate Perkins, we will see you soon for the conclusion of the Zootown Open.